What's up, everyone? I'm here with Mike Schill today. He's an amazing entrepreneur, a good friend of mine. He's here on Konnex TV. We're going to have a great interview and find out who is the real Mike Schill and what is he doing. Mike, how's it going?
Bro, it's good, man. A pleasure. Excited at the opportunity to be here today. Excited to dive on into a conversation and with an individual like you. Listen, for those who are watching this thing, if you don't know this man doing some pretty incredible things, and just keep watching because he's gonna put on the show. I'll tell you that much.
Well, thank you, Mike. We want to know, how did you get started with all this stuff? Because you have quite a bit of success yourself. I mean, you work with a very
Mhm.
well-known billionaire, but walk us through the younger version, the baby Mike. How did you get involved in this stuff in your career and what you did in athletics and stuff like that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I mean, you rewind this thing a little bit, and you start just as a very young child, and listen, had the opportunity to live in a multitude of different places across the United States, and I think that's a testament to the ability to be in front of different types of people and still hold some clout and credibility in the room in present time, right? I think that's huge. Obviously, we were adopted, and that's a major thing as far as just implementing that stability and that brute force to just push no matter what's thrown at you, even if something isn't thrown at you. And thankful, right? For the man above as it relates to what happened there and where we were placed and whatnot. You fast forward, I went to Florida State University, biology and exercise sciences, double major there, minor in business. Had the opportunity to play ball at Florida State too at that Division I level, and that was incredible, be exposed to those type of athletes with that type of curriculum. We're also taking human biochem and inorganic chemistry and physics one and physics two and bio, just taking real classes, but also having to worry about what's going on Saturday when you're in front of a couple million people. Like that's not a normal situation for an individual 17, 18, and 19 years old, right? So you get exposure to that. That was incredible. After the fact, went into medical sales, right? I would say that's the first sales role that I had was medical sales. Wanted to be pre-med, right? After college, did a little bit of playing around with the sports and whatnot, and realized that maybe pre-med wasn't the route that I was going to go. But still love the medical space. Listen, the body is incredible, and if you don't have that thing dialed in, what do you really have dialed in? Like health is everything, right? The best wealth is health because without it, you can't accumulate anything. And so I knew I wanted to stay somewhat attached to the body, so went into the medical sales, right? From medical sales, went to number one, the respected company that I was a part of, right? In under 2 short years. And it wasn't because I knew what the hell I was doing. It was because of just crazy work ethic. And because I was introduced by a guy, fast forward a couple of years who I work alongside. And I'll never forget it. It was on some follow-up curriculum, right? We're taking down massive organization. It was actually Piedmont Hospital that's over in Georgia. Like that's where I was born in Georgia too. So it's funny how things come full circle. But trying to get in there, one of my buddies in the medical device, in the medical sales organization, introduced me to some follow-up content that was Grant Cardone. I didn't know who Grant Cardone was, but I was like, damn it, I need to get this. I need to get this account. He bought a massive hospital. If you don't know that is the hospital over there. We got into that, um, got into the hospital, right? One thing led to another, and it just so happened that Grant was in South Florida where I was, and the rest is history with him. But I'll stop there and have you ask a couple questions and whatnot. So
Medical device industry must be a profitable industry. You learn a lot of sales and stuff like that there.
listen, selling to just anybody is one thing. Selling to a person who, number one, thinks they know it all, and number two, does know a lot. Whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. So when you're selling to a doctor, you better know what it is you're talking about. So what did that teach me, brother? That taught me everything as far as being able to fully explain what I was presenting and be able to overcome objections that an individual who let's be frank is at a higher caliber as far as knowledge base in certain categories than you are, being able to present to that person and overcoming that resistance. Oh, that was everything. I learned so much selling to doctors, man, because they're some of the most brilliant people in the world. So you better come correct. And so I learned a lot there. I learned a lot there for sure.
What did you learn? Like how to do technical sales and how did you overcome common objections? Most common objection. Mike, I'm really not interested in whatever you're selling. And
Yeah,
what
man.
you have to say?
Yeah, well, if a doctor would tell us, "Hey, we're not interested," or "Hey, we already have something on our formulary that kind of fits that need for the patient," or "We've already got that type of implant, and we're doing wonders." Okay, well, the first things first is always agree, and I learned that actually for the fact subconsciously I was just doing it. But the next thing was to you don't pitch the product or you don't pitch the formulation, you don't pitch the medication for the medication or for the implant, right? You pitch it for the patient. And so what I would do is I would agree with them, but then I would go back into highlighting the benefits of the patient and how you're putting a patient in a better position from a presentation standpoint, like how they present in life after the surgical procedure or after the intake of whatever type of medication it is. And when you can start framing it that way, that's the thing that got the doctors to kind of raise their eyebrows a little bit and say, okay, the majority, not all, but the majority of doctors are in it for patient care. And so the patient is first. And so when you present, and when we presented, if we put the patient first and put our product or our solution, whatever it was, aside, you would be able to kind of overcome some of that initial resistance. And then they would give you a shot to maybe write a script or maybe use that in the next surgical procedure. That was the game. So.
That's how you get over rejections. And then I guess you got really good training on how to do sales through that and how to handle objections, and that led into your next thing. So after Piedmont and the hospital, what happened after that?
Yeah, so Piedmont in the hospital, man. After that, I had the opportunity to work alongside a guy by the name of Grant Cardone, and that was wildness, man. Listen, what I'll say is this.
Tell us about it.
Yeah,
How did you get
what
involved
what else?
with people that don't know you?
Yeah, so it was funny. I used that contact to go to number one in the previous organization I was. We just so happened to be in South Florida at the time. Grant Cardone's office is in South Florida. My buddy at the time actually went over to work for that guy, right? But I didn't take it seriously. I think they were trying to recruit me for like 7 or 8 months. They would call me, FaceTime me, yo, you got to check this thing out. I'm like, who the hell is this guy, this Southern guy? Like, I don't know who he is, man. Like, I'm just in my own lane. Relentless follow-up is the only reason why I even walked into that office in the first place. Right. Again, it took like 7.5 or 8 months for me to take it seriously. I walked into the office one day, and 5 years later, I walked out. Right. And so the rest is history there. That again, that experience is crazy. What I'll say is this: you think you know how to sell, you think you know how to work, you think you know what marketing is, you think you know what how to grow a business from scratch is, the effort that's necessary. And then I got exposed to what it really takes. And
Yeah.
I would highly suggest that if anybody had an opportunity to get next to someone like that at any point of their life, like one of the things we always were taught is you don't know what you don't know. There's so many things that we don't know. But you got to get next to the frequency of people that know. Otherwise, bro, you're just aiming in the dark. And honestly, you're probably not going to get to where it is you want to go
Yeah.
because you don't even know that path's available. Um, but yeah, that was a wild experience, man.
So no regrets. You learned a lot, and being in the right room with the right power players really helped you grow significantly in your career.
Oh man, yeah, yeah. And in the knowledge. These guys move at a different frequency, they move at a different level. They negotiate at a higher, they negotiate with force. Um, you know, big emphasis on eyeballs as dollar signs. Big focus on picking up this phone and actually dialing people, not hiding behind an email or a text message or some sort of paid marketing campaign, but actually getting in communication with somebody and moving the ball forward. But then, investments, scaling out organizations, systems, operations, marketing, finances. You're exposed to all that, you see all that, and then it's like, okay, well, shit, okay, maybe now I'm ready.
Yeah. And
Maybe.
your primary role, you were doing sales, right?
Yeah, anything and everything sales, selling big time, five figure, six figure programs to the corporate individuals. I mean, we had like Ashley Furniture. I mean, we had Northrop Grumman. We had Allstate Insurance. We had Moxie Pest Control, Suncor Solar, SunGrade. So I mean, the list just keeps going on and on. These are juggernaut organizations, man. These are billion-dollar entities. So we were selling a sales training program for those entities so their customer-facing employees could provide more revenue and, of course, have an uptick in that bottom line. So that's what we were selling to those guys.
Well, that's amazing. And yeah, I mean, we met at the 10X conference.
I know.
I like what Grant's doing. I've learned a lot from him. So Grant, if you're watching, great stuff. Keep it up. We look up to you. Thanks for.
Let's go.
Did you meet anybody interesting through his connections, like in an event? You met a celebrity, somebody, any people that pointed out that were like, wow, I met this guy and I got to know him. Anyone interesting?
Listen. I mean, it's honestly like who did you not meet from like executives of KKR and Blackstone to being backstage with like a 50 Cent to getting introduced to some of Donald Trump's executive personnel to like fashion icons to just billionaires who you would not even think you would not even blink if you walk past them, and yet they own half of Manhattan.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a who did we meet from Mike Tyson to like it was just who did you not meet. As the brand went up,
Who was your
so
favorite?
did the type of people.
Anybody favorite? You're like, this was cool. I met freaking whoever, 50 Cent.
Yeah, I
Besides,
mean,
anybody that
yeah,
stuck
but
out that was really like, haha.
listen, I'll just say this much: I like meeting the people from KKR because they were numbers people. Like, listen, the celebrities and whatnot. Yeah, you met those guys. That's cool. Um, with sports and whatnot, I mean, I've been around some pretty significant people, the best players in the world. So it's not that it was never really a starstruck type situation. It was more of who was I in front of that provided something or would talk about something that I've just never been able to conceptualize before. And for me, it was always those big juggernaut real estate guys and or those big executives and like KKR. Like when they would open their mouth and they would talk about yearly projections and acquisitions and M&A and how they're going to gobble up a certain sector and they're going to do it in 6 months and this sector's worth like half a trillion and then they do it, you're like, bro, that's wild. So that's what I would say there.
You work with the heavy hitters, big power players. I mean, you were around that for so time, so that helps with your credibility, your brand. Because some people never get a chance to work with them, and you did. You interacted with them. So, how did you take all this experience from Mr. Cardone, and then what
Yeah.
happened afterwards? What happened after you exited? What's your business now? What are you doing? Like, what do you do with all that amazing, incredible experience that people wish they had?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Well, the one thing that we were always taught is that marketing is everything, right? It's not even the best person or the best known product that or the best product that sells is the best known person, the best known product rather that sells, right? Marketing is number one. It's the first part of the sales process. Marketing is the meet and greet, fact finding, and overcoming objections, right? You don't have to LeBron James, if he made a cold call, he doesn't have to get past objections up front. He doesn't have to greet and introduce himself. They already know because he's been on everybody's television 400,000 times just last year, right? That's what marketing is, right? So it just it it takes down the barrier of entry to get into direct communication with people. I've always believed that. I saw that. So right after Cardone's, we opened up a full circle agency digital marketing and advertising firm. We specialize in retention marketing. So that's email, text, loyalty, and subscription for medium and large size product based brands. Had the opportunity to work with companies like an eBay, Lines Not Cheap, Accubo, Tectonic, Lightsall. And so, we took the sales of knowing how to break into big Fortune 100 organizations, right? We took that element, but we also took the element of understanding that marketing is literally everything. And what we did is we provided a solution for these individuals to stay in front of their consumers to upsell and cross sell, right? And so that was the initial bread and butter of the full circle agency, right? After the full circle agency, had the opportunity to actually partner up with our partner who's literally sitting right next to me here. We are in the insurance space right now, right? And really excited about that opportunity. Our agents, 20 to 25 actively writing agents every single week, right? Our goal is to have a massive exit within this space. We are based in South Florida. That's where I currently reside. That's where he currently resides. And we are doing something massive there. What I will say is anything it is that you do, if you know how to sell and you know how to market, you can do it. It's that just is it. But none of this would take place if I didn't have the foundation of those two most important things. It's like all the other stuff in business, you can pay for that. But if you can't talk and people don't want to talk to you and they don't see you, I mean, you might as well just live in the dark
Yeah.
because you are, you know.
But what does Grant say? If they don't know you, they can't flow you.
Yeah, that's what we always said, and it's true, man. It's true.
So,
It's, I
so,
mean,
so business owners, they can work with you and you can help them with their sales and marketing and tax and stuff like
hmm
that, right? You're able to
hmm
agency helping specifically now you're in insurance.
hmm hmm we are specifically now in the insurance space, life and health, annuities, infinite banking, just the whole 9 yards. Of course, for some of these bigger organizations, still provide that direction that's necessary from a sales standpoint, and still have contracts and work with some of the biggest boating manufacturers, steel manufacturers, lighting manufacturers right now, getting in front of their people and just teach them how to rock and roll. But that main bread and butter right now is in the financial service space and in the insurance space. And then of course we have the movies and documentaries, but that's a long play, man. That's not like you understand that. That's something different. So
Want to jump into that, but how do
yeah.
people find you if they want to work with you in the insurance space? You have your website, your name, Mike Schill. How?
Yeah, yeah. Listen, anything that you heard here, you just want to reach out. Obviously, you can reaching out. Instagram and or TikTok are the best ways, but I'll just give an Instagram. It's at Mike Mike Schill SCHILL underscore. And then the insurance company is called Native Life Group. Native Life Group, right? And you can find us on Instagram there. It's also in my bio on my own personal page. But anything you want to learn, anything you want to know as it relates to what it is we talked about, if you just go to my personal page, I mean, it's all right there, and you'll hit the link and you'll check out the insurance side and just what it is we're doing, the culture that we're building, and what it is that we're growing in that specific financial vertical. So
Great. You guys heard it there. Follow Mike, get a part of his group and see what he's up to. So
a
I
moment.
want to dive into the whole movie media thing. How
Yeah,
did
man.
that come? You're a sales guy. You're selling products and insurance. Why? Why are you doing this? What's the whole point? What does it mean to you? Let's tell us a
Yeah.
bit about what happened and what you did.
Yeah, man. Putting on the show was always fun for me, you know. And I think that distribution is everything. Worldwide distribution is power. And if you don't have worldwide distribution, okay, right? Coca-Cola has it, McDonald's has it, entertainment has it, and sports has it. You know, big time organizations have it. So if you stop with sports, stop playing sports, in sports, right? You have passion, people, all the ends of the earth. If they're part of a team, if they like a team, like you have worldwide dominance, right? So to be taken out of sports, you got to figure out, okay, that was the fuel for it, to put on the show, right? What are other ways to put on a show outside of sports? Well, to put on a real damn show, or to do a movie, right? And so I always knew that I wanted to do that, but you never know how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. This is a perfect testament to never break a bridge, right? Never do bad by people ever. It was actually a link through an individual on the sales floor at Cardinals that led me to another link that led me to the opportunity to produce the first movie that we produced. And I always knew that entertainment is ultimately, that's the end all be all. That's what I'll be in when it's all said and done, like big time entertainment. But was introduced to an idea that was marketable, that made sense, where I saw the vision and there was the right team involved where I said, you know what, listen, if the Lord is going to give me this shot and I've been asking for it, I'd be crazy if I didn't take it, right? And so we produced a movie called Linear Movie. It's based off um, um, the lake in Georgia, right? Lake Lanier. That is arguably it's haunted. Arguably, there's some crazy thing. I mean, listen, there is something crazy that happens on that lake every single day. Like every single day is the wildest stuff. You don't get electrocuted in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like just crazy things. So we did a spinoff. We did a movie on Lake Lanier. Um, and it did some wonders as it relates to numbers, right? We saw that, and we said, you know what? Let's go ahead and give a documentary. For those who don't know, Lake Lanier, it was there was a black community, a thriving black community under Lake Lanier, where people at the time did not like that thriving black community because of the race. They actually flooded. They actually flooded that community, right? That's where all the haunting comes into play. We're like, okay, well, we got the movie thing figured out. Why don't we give a biography of like what's actually going on there? So we did that. Both of those went on Amazon Prime. They did incredible numbers. And then the rest is history as it relates to after the fact, what it is that we're constantly putting out there in the marketplace to keep building and building. Number one, awareness for some stories that otherwise go overlooked, but also building credibility and certainty, especially within the number one, the black community, but number two, and most importantly, the Southern community, because the goal is to do something with, and we already talked about this with Tyler Perry, right? And then to do something even more extraordinary than that. The end goal is $100 million film with a $75 million ad budget, and then 200 million. So that's what we're trying to do. No. That's what we will do, but it's a step-by-step process, and you know that as well, being in a very similar space. So,
Yeah, and it's still out there, Lake Lanier. They can still watch on Amazon.
oh man, you still check it out on Amazon. I mean, I just got, bro, the numbers are still coming in. Lake Lanier, you can find on Amazon. It's called Lanier Movie, Surviving Lake Lanier. You can find that on Amazon. Surviving Diddy, you can actually find that on. Now it's on YouTube. You can find the first two on Tubi. There are a couple of other documentaries that are primarily on YouTube, and then the company is called Scary Hour Productions. Scary Hour Productions. If you check us out on YouTube, we've got a couple other minor projects that are there as well. And then we got two that we're about to release that are major. Again, that will be on that Amazon Prime leverage. So,
Wow,
yes,
wow.
sir.
So amazing, all this stuff. How do you manage all this stuff? What does your day-to-day look like? Are you managing the business and sales and
Yes.
media? You're like a mogul right at this point.
No, I mean, listen, what I will say it just has to do with the right people around you. You got good people, you got good teams. Um, and then that calendar is nuts. Because listen, we are in an office right now. We literally had about 15. We still have some 15 agents on the phones. Like last or this month has been kind of like a strategic type month and whatnot. The month prior to, I was making phone calls on the phone, 250, 300 phone calls on the phone, just crushing. Like just learning. Like what does the schedule look like? The schedule looks like as a owner of a company or an executive of a company or founder of something, it's just how do you make the lives of everybody who believes in you easier? And the only way to do that is to be in the trenches, understand the trenches, and then optimize those trenches for everybody else who's in them, right? So What does my day look like? Our day looks like, right? Because I'm sitting here next to my partner, Sean. It's the same thing. That is the only focus. It's what can we do to better what we got every single day. Sales is obviously number one on top of that, but equally as important is this marketing and advertising stuff that we got going too. The days are wild, bro, but you damn sure that I'm gonna be in the gym, definitely gonna run my sprints at the track. If I get those two things in and I chill with my son a little bit every day, everything else is easy, right? Got to get those three things in. So,
Building the
yeah,
legacy
man.
empire there. That's pretty amazing. So
Yes,
just
sir.
like some of the last questions here, a lot of people are following you, they want to kind of follow in your footsteps, talking about grit and going through stuff. But for entrepreneurs who want to do their own business or something more of a general, but how do you get involved in the business? Let's say you want to quit your job, you want to start a business, and then you become a business owner. What advice would you give to entrepreneurs or people trying to attempt to do something similar, running a business, but they're scared?
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, and you know this too, bro. It's grueling. It's tough. It is a mind. You know what? Half the time you think you don't know what's going on. 90% of the time, you think that no one else knows that you know what's going on, right? But you got to keep pushing. That's the first thing. So you got to know that it is difficult. You have to know that. The second thing is if you are not an entrepreneur, but you are in a corporate like setting and want to get to entrepreneurship, realize that right now, in the seat that you are in, while you are watching this here today, that you are getting paid to learn how an organization is ran. You don't sit in an office and just do your job at an office. That's what a regular 9 to 5 person does. Can't do that. But listen, this one guy, Brandon Dawson, he told me, and this guy's, exited his last company at 77 times EBITDA, the highest exit, public exit in the history of mankind, like crazy stuff. He told me, hey, when you're sitting in the thing, when you're sitting in the 9 to 5, like just realize that you're not in the 9 to 5 just to be in the 9 to 5. You're in the 9 to 5 to soak it up. And so he would always tell me to have a little black book, right? And then jot down every single day the things you like and the things you don't like about the organization that you're in. I'm not talking about like gossip. What I'm talking about is like strategy, procedure, someone on the sales floor. Like this makes sense, this doesn't make sense. And learn where you're currently at because you're getting paid to learn on someone else's dime, and all you need to do is produce. If you are in sales, don't just learn sales, like learn what the marketing department has to go through. Yeah, like great relationships in the financial department, get to know the executives, like get into other rooms, like learn how everything is free flowing internally in one entity. So then when you do make that leap, like it's not just a bet, but it's a sure bet that okay, I got this thing. You're never going to be totally prepared, but where you're sitting today, if you just approach it differently and pick your head up and play the damn game, it'll just allow for you to play a higher level game potentially after you leave the workplace. And then constantly be developing yourself, man. Constantly be developing yourself and realize that again, the only thing you really need to know is sales and marketing. So perfect those things. And then everything else comes. What I'll also say is personal brand is huge. You know this too. Gary Vaynerchuk told me it is single-handedly the fastest way to grow mind and market share. It's personal brand through personal brand. In today's marketplace, he also said you will be completely fine if you don't do it, right? But just know that is the fastest way to grow mind and market share. So if you are an entrepreneur looking to get in entrepreneurship, Brand always told us you are your own business. So operate as such and realize that your own personal brand, your last name, you are a walking billboard. Like get that out there. And the more flow that you build before that transition, the easier that transition is going to be because you're already going to have a following of people that then you can now convert to sell your idea or your product to as opposed to starting from scratch. That's what I would say to anybody who's just getting started in entrepreneurship, looking to take that next step into entrepreneurship. But it is difficult. No sugarcoat there. No sugarcoat there.
I
You
told me
know.
the same thing. Ty Lopez, I'm sure you know of him. He
Oh,
said
it's Ty Lopez. Yeah.
that you can't replace that. Personal brand is the only thing you can't replace, for that person unless AI. So I
Mhm.
wholeheartedly agree with you. Mike, you got to be on stage, man, talking. We need you on one of our stages as the speaker and talking. You're such a great
Uh,
speaker at talking and stuff.
Thank
But
you.
you have any events coming up in the next few months, summer, people could attend? You are holding any type of events for training or anything like that?
Yeah, great question, man. So, I do have a community on Circle, and that's solely for, customer facing individuals. We meet every single week. And we talk anything and everything sales and so on and so forth. I think there's like 150 people in there right now. It's great stuff. Obviously that's not my money making source, but that's just me giving back. It's like $47 a month or something like that. As far as any big time events, I know I will be speaking at Chaparral and Robalo. Those are big time boating manufacturers a little bit later on this year, right? That's more of a private type deal, right? For those specific groups. From a public speaking standpoint, nothing on the books as of right now. There may be a couple things here in late September, early October. I haven't given a thumbs up to, but what I would say is just follow constantly putting out data and information of value, right, on the social media platforms. And the moment another one pops up, as far as from a public standpoint, obviously I'm going to blast the hell out of that thing, and you're going to see it, and just pull up and get a notepad and pen and sheet of paper out, and just go to work.
Let's do it. We should definitely talk. I'd love to have you on our stage. You're such a great speaker. So usually we end this with just a few
Mhm.
really kind of profound questions about yourself and like what you're doing
Mhm.
to help. But your daily affirmations, your rituals, is there any certain things you do like at night or in the morning to help prep you for being such an accomplished guy? Like the confidence you have as a person, many people kind of wish they were like you, confident,
Mhm.
strong. You're a very good speaker. How do you do that? How do you prep that? Where does this confidence come from? Do you do affirmations? What's these rituals you do to make Mike shit?
Yeah. You know,
Good question.
everybody says it. Everybody says it. Everybody says it, but well, I don't know. I'm not even going to say everybody says it's just what do you what are you working towards? Like you got to have a target, man. Like you really got to have a target. So, you know, writing down the target every single morning, not necessarily just your target from a business standpoint, but your target as far as from a life standpoint. So I already know it's to be a New York Times bestselling author on the cover of Forbes magazine, worth 5 billion, living in New York, able to provide 10 million foster homes with kids, on a baseball team and our football team, to have uh, to have uh, to have 15,000 units or AUM, assets under management. So that's that real estate. And that when that obviously from an entertainment standpoint, a $200 million film, right? And that when I die, that every single news channel stops and says I passed. Right. So you just gotta know like what is the game. And you can write that thing down, you can tell yourself that, but if you tell yourself that stuff every single morning, then it puts everything in perspective. And then what it does is it allows for you to get past the mundane BS that we all have to deal with every single day, and realize that the thing that you're doing isn't for the thing that you're doing, but it's for the thing that's about to come. But if you can't do the thing that you're doing, you never do the thing that's about to come, right? So that, and then bro, get in the gym, man. Like work out, eat healthy, you know? Like you're a fortress, act as such. you know. Um, from a speaking standpoint, man, I still watch old speeches like Winston Churchill, Barack Obama, war speeches, um, like some of the best people on like ESPN, and some of the best reporters in sports. Huge. Some of these congressmen and women, right? You may not be in alignment with what it is that they believe, but how they get their point across and how they effectively communicate, like studying that. Like when I'm watching that, that's what I'm watching. I'm not necessarily listening to what they're saying, I'm listening to how they say it. And then what is the response on Instagram? What's the response on TikTok? What's the response on Twitter? What's the response to just the news? Like how are they impacting people? And again, the most effective speakers are the most powerful people in the world. So study them. That's it, you know?
That's great. Mike, you're such an amazing guest. I'm so glad we had you on the show. I mean, you've got such good knowledge and value, just what you've learned from the people you've been around and what you're doing in your company and how you're helping other people. That's something we want to keep following you and see the next big thing that's happening. So, any other last words of wisdom from the amazing Mike Schill on to achieve success? And do you really believe that you think success is more financial, or the fact that you kind of have integrated, you have your family, your business? Like, how do you view success is the last question.
Yeah, how do I view success? I view success as this. Um, Being successful is particular to any single person, right? It's not a one size fits all type deal. Um, but being unsuccessful is a one size fits all type deal, and that's not hitting your targets and hitting your goals. So, like, what is the definition of successful? It's whatever it is that you want it to be. It's your own language, but you got to go get it, right? And the only thing that we fear is just not being successful. And so just know that, you know, everything that you hate to do, you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to do it 500,000 times, maybe a million times, right? That room you don't want to go into, step into it. That stage you don't want to step on, just step on it. That person that you don't think is gonna want to talk to you and you don't walk up to, go ahead and talk to them. That idea that's just like in your head, that's just killing you every single second of the day, that you're like, give it a shot. Because, bro, like, right, the definition of insanity is expect different results doing the exact same thing. So, in order for something to change, something's got to change. And we are the people that got to change because it's our responsibility. It's not anybody else, dog. Not
Mhm.
anybody else. So, that's what I could say to that. But we're figuring it out, man, day by day, brick by brick. And then make sure you follow this guy too, bro. Because this guy right here in front of us, not me, but the other one, right? I mean, this guy's doing some massive things. Um, we were just talking right before this, just the impact in the entertainment space that this individual's about to have. Not going to go too deep on into it, right? But bro, you're an incredible person. You got the same type mindset, same type of ambition. You're doing the same exact thing. And I think it's about also who you surround yourself with and what relationships you have and what relationships you keep open. So I appreciate you for holding other people accountable like me to hit what it is that I need to hit because you're hitting what it is that you need to hit.
Well, I appreciate that, Mike, man. You're a good
Yeah,
friend of
man.
mine. I definitely need you on my show again. And everybody, if you want to be like Mike, follow Mike at Mike Schill, guys. Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate you, dog. Yes, sir.